Hello everybody, today I'm going to talk about an article I was sent by a friend who goes to a forum. Are review sites pandering to Nintendo? Now, this was posted by a smaller gaming site, but the point this article makes is pretty big, and it asks if they are, and why, you may ask? Well, not only have Nintendo games, regardless of quality, most of the time, especially if it's a big franchise, gotten a high score, but also there are all these Nintendo-only gaming sites that have just popped up out of the blue, which will praise Nintendo and only cover Nintendo news. I haven't seen this with Sony or Microsoft. Now, anyways, let me get to what the article was trying to say and why this is a big thing. Now, the article states that normally when games are reviewed, publishers will either send them a review copy of the game to review with, the usual stuff like, say, don't post your review before a certain date, or they'll also do stuff such as, for example, if they don't want the game to be getting bad reviews, they just won't send it their way, but you get what I'm saying. Many publishers will send people games to review. And of course, there have also been incidents where publishers have gotten called out for trying to send over-the-top care packages, giving them stuff such as free tablets, hoping that they'll give games a high score. But, like I said, many publishers will just send them the games to review and have them review it. Unless, of course, they think it's going to be getting bad scores. Nintendo, on the other hand, they do it differently. Now, Nintendo, instead of choosing whether to either send the person writing the review or choosing not to send the person writing the review a review copy, instead what Nintendo does is this. They'll have the publisher of the magazine or the reviewer or the website or whatever, they'll have them loan the game instead of, like, let's just say, having them, have the game, unless they give the game a high score. You heard that right. They prioritize giving games high scores by saying, hey guys, here you go. Here's a video game. You can go keep it. But if they don't give the game a positive score, they have to send the game back to Nintendo. That's right, if they don't give the game a high score, if they don't do the advertising job for Nintendo, they have to give the game back. Now, keep in mind, this especially hurts smaller review sites whom are trying to basically go off ad money, and they really don't pay the reviewers. Some of them don't even do that, according to this article, and it's especially bad for those smaller websites. However, what about those Nintendo-only sites I just mentioned earlier? Well, if you basically post a review 2 months early and don't give a score, you're allowed to do that with Nintendo. You can just call it a preview or whatever, go in depth about the game, how it's going to be the best game ever, and if you do that and just don't give a score but be positive, you can post your review 2 months early. Think about that. Think about the difference it makes being able to post your review of a game 2 months early. Free website traffic, free views, free notes from other people, free ad money, etc. It benefits those very websites. They get a free pass. They can do it. They can do the advertising just for Nintendo for free. All because they posted what even feels like a review 2 months early, but just didn't give a score because it was positive in nature. See what I'm getting at? This is the kind of stuff Nintendo does. And think about it. This makes Nintendo no different than those other companies. And in fact, it makes Nintendo even worse than those other companies which get called out for stuff. Remember the Kane and Lynch incident where these people got fired from a major review site for criticizing a game and the publisher didn't like that? Remember that? Because let's be honest, all this stuff does is not only does it make the gaming media look worse, but it also shines a bad light on Nintendo. And keep in mind, if you think this is just the site making stuff up, the comments of this article just prove that Nintendo is unfairly biased toward those sites that give them free advertising, and not toward sites which want to have even a shred of journalistic integrity. Because all in all, let's be honest, it's harder to support a company that does stuff like this, that tries to make people, if you can only keep the game if you like the game. If you don't like it, you have to return it to them. And keep in mind, this is an industry where many of the smaller sites are on a very small budget, and they can't get paid as much as the websites that funnel in positive Nintendo stuff, that funnel in everything that says Nintendo is the best, that funnel in early access to games because it's free advertising. That should tell you enough about Nintendo and how sleazy they are. And honestly, it's hard to support a company that does the kind of stuff that if another company did this, they'd be hearing boycotts. You'd be seeing boycott EA a lot more if EA did something like this, or Microsoft, or Sony, that tried to make people do this and bribe reviewers behind their back. That is all. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.